Hello everyone. You probably weren't expecting to see my face today, were you? Um, yeah. My absence, I'm aware, and has been duly noted. But for the sake of this week, I'm here now, and hopefully this video comes out on time. Roll the intro. Hello everybody and welcome to week 16 of the 2024 and 2025 NFL season and my prediction picks. I am the blind Canadian cat. I say meow and I roll intros. Well, at least I try to. You know, I'm not gonna pretend things are all peachy and swimmy. And I'm really not gonna go into detail about certain things. I'm just gonna say it's been an interesting few weeks, and I just didn't really want myself being out on camera. That's all it really comes down to, if we're being completely honest. That's all it is. But I mean, for the sake of it all, I'm here now, and hopefully I will be here for the rest of the year. We're only looking at, I don't know how to count apparently, 17-18 Wild Divisional Conference Super Bowl. 6 videos max. So, this one, 6 more to go, and hopefully we'll just go through from there. But let's take a look back at last week, where we can actually do a full-on analysis. A nice 11-5 straight up. A very porous 6-10 against the spread. You give some benefits, you lose some benefits. It is what it is, especially following that double-digit spread, which, for this video, we do have 2 double digits. And I'll break down my thoughts and feelings on those when we get to them. The spreads are tricky. You want to get benefit down. And then totals, still doing good. We're still above 500 in all 3 topics, which, I mean, we're on a good pace to finish the season above 500 on all 3, which I don't believe I have done. At least not all at the same time. Yeah, so fingers crossed, and let's keep picking good, because I'm all for setting first and new records. Hell, even with the straight up picks, I don't know if I'll beat my percentage record back in 2017, but I might have my best season since the NFL has moved on to the 17 games for each team. I'm on pace to have my best season since that. So hey, we're feeling good, we're looking good, and I love it. So with that, let's get into my picks, starting off with the Thursday night game, the Chargers and the Broncos, which, weirdly enough, the NFL made a big deal on flexing this game into the Thursday night, but then did nothing with the Sunday night game and the Monday night game, where there's a team in both Sunday night and Monday night who are starting backup quarterbacks. So, was this just we want to give the Sunday night or the Thursday night crew a good game finally, even though we had a good game 2-3 weeks ago? And yeah, there was a shit show last week for Thursday night, but are we really trying to prioritize the TNF crowd, considering they're only getting 2 games left, over the Sunday and Monday night? I mean, I guess now that I think about it, the Sunday night, they were never going to flex that out. The NFL and the fans and morons have a hard-on for the Cowboys, so they're going to keep the Cowboys in primetime slot, even if it's Cooper Rush. Ooh, I guess they have won some games, but it's not like they're in playoff contention. Don't give me your percentages. They're out. NFC, your 3 wildcard spots are pretty much cemented. Although I guess if the Commanders lose this week, there's a door open for someone else taking their spot, which could be interesting. But I think for the most part, it's just whoever wins those last 2 divisions, you're going to get those. The 3 NFC teams are going to be in there. Philly's going to be there. I think DC still is in there, but maybe those Tampa and Atlanta combos can come in, or Seattle and LA can come in. Arizona, you want to believe, but Cardinals make it hard to trust them. They do. They just do. But anywho, on to the Thursday night game. I'm rolling with the Chargers. I just think they're the better team. I know JK's injury is going to make it tricky, which is why I'm predicting this to be a low-scoring affair. Two great defenses. Chargers not sure what to do on offense, especially with the short week of just getting blown out by the Bucks. I'm expecting this to be like a low-scoring affair. I'm expecting not like this is a 16-13 game to me. Bo Nix threw into some pick trouble last week. And again, short week, hopefully that benefits him, but maybe it'll cost him. I don't know. But I like a low-scoring affair, and I'm glad the spread's at 2.5, 16-13. The 3-point game. Maybe it's one on a game-winning field goal. But that's that. Then we have the two Saturday games. I'm just going to go on record. This pick is more me manifesting things, so to speak. I think the Chiefs are due for one more loss. No team's going to go 16-1. We don't have those anymore. That just does not happen. So I think Kansas City's due for one more loss. And for me, the stubborn Ravens fan that I am, I want that loss to be against Houston so they can beat Pittsburgh. I need that. Then again, that doesn't matter if the Ravens don't win this week, because Pittsburgh clinches the division with the win here. So, for all intents and purposes, it comes down to these, and I don't know if Mahomes' injury should be a big deal or not. I'm not going to say he's faking it. He might be milking it, but I'm not going to say he's faking it. And I do trust Houston's pass rush. I do trust that. So, I think they can maybe mess around with him. He might be a little more limited, so we can't scramble as much. Which, to be fair, Kansas City has never been about their offense anyway this year. They just have not been that high-scoring of a team. So this just comes down to, can Houston not shoot themselves in the foot so many times? So another game like this, I don't... If that's total is at like 42, 43, you take that under. If it gets to... if it's around that 40, 41, then it's iffy, but... This game, it has, 23-20, 2017. It has that kind of feel to it. Again, I'm manifesting positive things for the Ravens this year. So, Texans winning now, and the Chiefs losing, so that way the Chiefs have motivation to beat Pittsburgh on Wednesday. So, Texans win, Ravens win. That being said, though, if anyone's ever bothered watching the Ravens the last 5-10 years, well, not, like 5-6 years, they don't do well against Pittsburgh. So I don't know why the 6.5 spread's here. I don't know why. Like, even with the TJ Watt injury, I don't know what the status is. I don't know if he's going to be playing or not. I'd rest him. Pittsburgh's a playoff team. And even if the Ravens win this game, you still relatively, I think, control your destiny. So, like, if I'm Pittsburgh, rest TJ. But, whatever. Even if TJ's not playing, I would not lay 6.5. I wouldn't. I don't want to say... it's not a Lamar thing. He's the QB, so it's his win-loss record, but it's not a Lamar thing. It's a whole team thing. Like, this team just derps out. And yeah, Lamar could play better, obviously, but like, there's just something here with the whole team that there's a stigma. And maybe it's because they're trying to build up, like, oh, Ravens-Steelers rivalry, blah, blah, blah. But again, it hasn't really been much of a rivalry. Steelers have dominated this for like the last 5 years. I think it's dead ass like 9-1 in favor of Pittsburgh the last 10 matchups, or something like that. So yeah, I'm not laying 6.5. And if it stays up there by the time TJ, and if it stays up there and TJ does end up playing, again, take those points. Would it shock me if Pittsburgh wins? No, it wouldn't. But I think the Ravens are desperate. It's a home game. You know, everyone's playing and healthy. I guess Lamar hasn't really played a home game against Pittsburgh in like 4 years. So, like, it's go time here. So I trust the Ravens to handle business. Another competitive game, but I trust them to handle business. Bengals to dominate the Browns. They're giving DTR the start over Winston. Don't know what that's going to accomplish. So, yeah. Bengals are clinging on to life, so give them the win. Cardinals over the Panthers. We all got baited. That's what it was. Vegas was baiting everyone to take the Panthers over the Cowboys. That was bait. It was 100% bait by Vegas making the favorite. And we fell for it. We all fell for it. Panthers. Bryce Young is something. I think there needs more time. But the problem is, knowing how the NFL is construed these days, they don't want to give these QBs time. They don't want to give these coaches time. I think they need to let that team have time. Find more weapons, like, be young, build young. Adam Thielen's a great vet, but build young and just keep building towards the future. Chuba's great running back. Jonathan Brooks, if he can stay healthy, he'll be good. But yeah, Cardinals, they're still fighting, and they're a very inconsistent team, and it's hard to trust them worth a damn. But I'm taking the Cardinals. Lay the 4.5. Carolina, it's fun, but I think they've come back to remembering they're the Panthers. And if the Cardinals are any serious, they'll win this game. Or let's put it this way. If the Panthers win this game, there's going to be a lot more questions with Arizona. And some looking into how this future is going to play out. It's not going to look pretty in Arizona if they lose this game. That's all I'm going to say. Controversial upset. I'm taking the Commanders over the Eagles. Only because this rivalry, even when DC hasn't been the greatest team in a while, they do have the tendency to poke at poke at Philadelphia a couple of times. So, and again, this goes back to the mantra, teams are bound to lose more games. No one goes through 17 games, 1 loss, 2 loss. I think teams are bound for more losses. And this is the only game left. Philly has 2 games left, and in those 2 games they should be blowouts. And this is the only competitive game left on their schedule, and I don't want to hear anything about divisions. This is the only competitive game left on their schedule. And even not, they have DC at plus 3.5. That hook. I'm buying that hook. But I think they're due for one more loss. I think it comes here. It helps cement DC's spot in the playoffs. But Philly still runs away with the division, runs away with the 2 seed. Depending on how things go with the Lions and the Vikings, but I don't see either of them. Lions have a couple of easy ones before their finale. Vikings got some tough ones, but they seem to be able to beat everyone. So I'm rolling with it. I think Philly is just going to be a 2 seed regardless. I think they're just locked there. So yeah, give me the Commanders in the upset. Falcons over the Giants, but I gotta tell you, out of all the spreads I'm taking for favorites, this is my least favorite one. And yes, theoretically, the Giants should lose every game by double figures because they're that bad, they're playing that bad, and they know they're playing that bad. They're tanking. To the point where it's like they're just spinning a wheel and choosing a quarterback. They're all hurt, so it's like, who wants it this time? You get it. You get it. And that's the same thing the Raiders are doing. But I'm laying it because, again, this is more of me disrespecting the Giants than it is giving Atlanta praise. Michael Penix is starting. We'll see what that does. If he looks decent, maybe he's the future. I still don't know why you're giving Kirk Cousins all that money to just draft Penix. If you sign Cousins on like a cheaper deal, like a very cheap deal, then whatever, more power to you. But signing him to that contract and then giving up on him right now on the playoff push that what? Maybe you steal the division back from Tampa. Maybe you're a 4 seed or a 3 seed, a 3 or 4 seed. You still gotta go through Green Bay or Minnesota in the first round, which I don't know if you've seen how they've played, but it's not good. You're not gonna have a fun time. So I don't know. Maybe you cut Kirk Cousins and try to save some of that money. Either way, I don't see the vision. But I'll lay the 8.5, and I'll go hate myself another day. Colts over the Titans, because I also think the Titans are somewhat tanking. They're choosing to start Mason Rudolph, which I don't know what that does, because you're not going to get value from Mason Rudolph, and you know damn well you're not going to start him next year. You're either sticking with Will Levis next year, or you're drafting someone. Mason Rudolph is not your answer. And even if he does well in these 3 games, he's not your answer. So, unless Will Levis has an injury, I don't see any point in starting Mason Rudolph. I'm taking the Colts because of their 2% chance of making the playoffs. They're going to want to try. So, I'm taking them on the fact of they're more invested in wanting to win than Tennessee is. But on the flip side, Indy has not given me enough to lay bigger spreads. And for the fact that there's an extra hook that you want me to buy, I'm taking Tennessee on the points. I'm basically cheating. I like to call this a cheat. You're going to get one or the other right. Or maybe you'll get lucky and get both. It was a 3-point game last time they played, so maybe this will be another 3-point game. Either way, it is what it is. Lions over the Bears. The Bears have 0 confidence, so why should I have any confidence in them? Lions are injured to hell and back, and now they're losing offensive pieces, as well as defensive pieces. But the Bears have 0 confidence. And if Sam Darnold and the Vikings can drop 30 on them, Lions should be able to do just the same, even without David Montgomery. Rams over the Jets at -3. That feels like easy money. Vikings over Seahawks also feels like easy money. But, with Geno's injury, do we know how well he's going to play? Or if he's going to play? And if not, who knows? But, again, easy money, easy money. Bills over the Patriots. I'm not going to discuss too much on that. But I will lay 14.5 on New England. Mostly because division game, I think Buffalo has been putting up so many points the last couple of weeks. They're kind of in this, okay, now we're playing a team, theoretically, who doesn't put up a lot of points. So we don't need to put up a lot of points. So maybe now's a good time to remember, oh hey, we have running backs. When you're playing a team like LA who's scoring a lot for some reason, when you're playing Detroit, who you know is going to score a lot, you go panicky and you want to score as many points as you can and quick. With New England, you're not expecting many points, so I don't think Buffalo really needs to score many points. I mean, again, establish the run game, or this backfires, and they're going to try to push to really submit Josh Allen as the MVP. Which, I mean, he's going to win it due to the fact he's going to be a top 2 seed. That's the only reason he's going to win it. You can't give it to Mahomes. You can't give it to Goff. You're probably not giving it to Jalen Hurts. And you're definitely not giving it to Sam Darnold. So, you're giving it to Josh. This is Josh MVP. And you know what? Say la vie. You set precedents for a reason. Teams who are not a top 3 seed don't get MVPs. Quarterbacks who are not a top 3 seed don't get MVPs. They just don't. Shoot. I don't know, I just had a derp moment. I don't know. I'm a little tired. It is past 1 a.m. here. But yeah, I think New England. This might be a backdoor cover, but I still think New England covers. This has like 27-14, something like that. 27-13. That still covers 14.5. I don't think the Bills try that much. Run game. Maybe some Josh Allen throws on the 1 yard line for, more passing touchdowns. Jags over Raiders. I do not know why the Raiders are favorite. I don't know why the Raiders are favorites. I fail to see it. Even if, not debating that both these teams are awful, has Mac Jones not showed you anything? He put up 25 on the Jets. He's been shown to put up points elsewhere. Are we just ignoring this? I feel like if you're comparing this two shiny turds, you can at least look at body of work. Raiders have been on a billion-game losing streak and are working with Desmond Ridder or Aiden O'Connell as quarterbacks with no run game and nothing. Jacksonville at least has, Mac and Brian Thomas Jr. Mac Jones is a better quarterback than everyone on Vegas' roster right now. He is. You can argue Gardner Minshew, but he never looked good with the Raiders anyway. But yeah, I don't know why the Raiders are favorites. I do not see the vision. I'm taking the Jags. Niners Dolphins could toss-up game anyway. And this is just a battle of disappointing seasons. But I'm going to take the Niners. Just for a pedigree reasons and just the vibes I get with both teams. Especially with Miami potentially not having Jalen Waddle in this game. I'm vibing with the Niners. I'm vibing. And the last two, Tampa over Dallas, I don't really think there's much to talk about. If this game's any competitive, it's because Dallas' defense steps up. Cooper Rush, again, I respect Cooper Rush. I know CeeDee Lamb, Rico Dowdle's having a good year. I don't know why you, as the Dallas Cowboys, are playing Cooper Rush over Trey Lance. I still don't know why. At least with Trey Lance, build him up, see if he's worth anything. Because you gave Dak all that money. You're not moving on from Dak in the next 2-3 years. Even with this, you're not moving on from him. So, at the very least, see what you got. Trey Lance, you might be able to get value for. You might be able to. But yeah, Bucks win in probably an ass-whooping fashion. Probably. And the last one, Packers over the Saints. I will say, with the Ravens being able to cover against the Giants, it does now open the door to, some covering. My double-digit spread theory is fun, and not all of them are going to hit. But once it starts, the majority of them do. But I just think with this one, especially with Alvin Kamara probably going to be out, they might just shut him down too. What offense are you getting? Spencer Rattler, I was hoping, might be something. Because he was projected at one point to be the best quarterback in his draft class. So you think there should be something there. Kendra Miller, we've been waiting to break out for a while now and hasn't really done it. I don't know what you're going to get from New Orleans. And Green Bay has a great defense. Not to poo-poo New Orleans. New Orleans has a great defense. Well, maybe not great, but a respectable defense. But I just don't know what you're going to get from the Saints. 9, 10, 13 points, maybe. They only got to 20 last week because of, desperation, last second BS3. And that was against DC, who I don't think they're on the same level as Green Bay's defense. So, in Lambeau Field too. I don't see where these points are going to come from. I'm not saying the Packers are going to put 40 on them, but if I don't think the Saints can get to 10, then all Green Bay needs to do is get to like 27, 28, and they'll be fine, which I think they can. I think they absolutely could do that to New Orleans. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at, maybe a 27-9, 24-9. That's kind of where I'm feeling. And that covers your 14. So, yeah. I don't think the Saints get to 10. No more than 10. I don't. And those are all the picks for me. I will move here so they can all slide down. So like I said, Chargers over Broncos, Texans upset the Chiefs, Ravens edge out the Steelers, Bengals dominate the Browns, Cardinals take care of the Panthers, Commanders upset the Eagles, Falcons quote-unquote convincingly win against the Giants, Colts edge out the Titans, Lions take care of the Bears, I think Rams dominate the Jets, Vikings take care of business against Seattle, Bills do what they need to against New England, Jacksonville upsets the Raiders, Niners get the win over Miami, Bucks dominate the Cowboys, Packers handle the business against the Saints. And then peeking over to fantasy, now that all leagues should be in their fantasy football playoffs. To recap, I was in 6 leagues this year. I made the playoffs in 2. And one of those 2 leagues started their playoffs the previous week, and I lost. So now I'm down to 1 league's playoffs, and we'll see where we go from there. I was the last entry in this league, but in the other league I was the 1 seed. Although, admittedly, I won't say I was a fraudulent 1 seed, but I definitely was not as good as my record stated. The dominoes just happened to fall in my favor. But with that, all you can do is move on. And in this other league, it's a rando league, so it doesn't really matter. But hey, if I can get a win, I can get a win. So let's try to go for that, for the championship. Why not? It's been a few years since I've had a championship in any fantasy league anyway, so might as well. And with that, that is going to be all from me on the Blind Canadian Cat YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Canadian Cat CP, Instagram, Blind Canadian Cat, Blue Sky, Blind Canadian Cat. Follow me on Twitch, and I'm forgetting the other link. Oh well. I'm alive. Good to be back, I suppose. I'm gonna try to keep my head straight while we do the rest of these videos. And that's all I can realistically say. Thank you all for tuning in. I will catch you in the next video. Choose peace, accept love, and have big trust. Goodbye, Internet. Quack, quack.